For another full week, a national conversation has been focused on if there was mass fraud during the 2020 election that altered the results of the presidential race. There are many claims out there, but no actual evidence to support the idea of fraud across multiple states that cost Donald Trump the election. We've talked about this on this show and about how some Idaho Republican lawmakers, that is, have continued to push the message on social media, again, without any evidence to support it. One Republican representative took to social media to counter that sentiment. Joe Paris spoke with Representative Britt Raybould to get another Idaho Republican perspective.
It's not to say that election fraud doesn't exist. It does, but it's on a scale that is so small in comparison to what is being reported by those who have raised questions about this election that it just doesn't make any sense.
Idaho Representative Britt Raybould took to Twitter to address claims that the presidential election was riddled with fraud, costing President Trump the election. These are claims some of her fellow Republicans in the State House have been promoting on social media.
This is a poison pill. If you are making claims without providing the evidence to back them up, that is an undermining of the very systems that we are depending upon to ensure that we can continue to uphold the Constitution and what this country stands for.
Raybould says she takes election and voting fraud seriously, but there is simply not the evidence to support claims of a rigged election.
The claims have been made, but once the attorneys get in front of the judge and the judge starts asking questions and trying to assess the claims, there isn't a whole lot to back it up.
If there is real evidence, Raybould says by all means it should be looked at. However, presenting meritless claims as evidence undermines the whole system.
If you have evidence, take that evidence and make it public. Present it to a judge. Show it to those who are in a position to investigate and verify one way or the other, because that's the thing that's so frustrating to me is I see these claims and I think, do you understand that if this is really happening, it's a serious problem for us and it should be investigated to determine whether or not it's actually occurring.
The Twin Falls representative will soon be finishing her term in the Idaho State House after losing re-election earlier this year. To lawmakers that continue to post claims about mass fraud without evidence, she has this thought.
Do your words matter or do they not? And if your words don't matter, then how do I know, when I'm supposed to pay attention or when I'm supposed to hold someone accountable for what they've said? I think if you speak up in a position and you are associating your official position with those words, I think you have to own the words.
Using those words to create doubt without evidence about the very system our country is dependent on is something Raybould says sets up a worrying premise, not just nationally, but locally as well.
It doesn't matter if we're talking about federal officials or state or local officials. We use elections to identify the people we want to represent us and serve us in government. And the only way that continues to work is if we can have confidence in the outcomes of those elections.
By the way, none of Idaho's congressional delegation has recognized Joe Biden as the president-elect.